In the early 2000s, I worked as an office temp in New York City. I don't know if anyone here has worked as a temp before? Okay, so you feel me. One of the reasons I loved being a temp is that you can sort of immerse yourself in the culture of an entirely new world every day that you show up for work. Right? So like Monday, I would arrive at a prank-loving construction firm, and my job would be to tell Bob when it was that Bill was coming out of his meeting, because while Bill was in his meeting, the entire office bricked up his door so that when he came back from his meeting, it looked like he didn't have an office anymore. Right? And then like Tuesday, I would be like dropped into the Shark Tank, cut to me being screamed at by a 22-year-old corporate lawyer about like, why didn't you mail my FedEx? And I say, I didn't realize that that basket over there was the outgoing mail basket. And she says to me, well, I told the person that was sitting in your desk yesterday. But I mean, this is perfectly reasonable logic, because temps are not human. Temps are invisible. Temps are interchangeable. Like, I had become a temp because I had quit my job at Goldman Sachs to pursue graduate school. And I would temp on days that I didn't have classes. But like, there would be times that I would be sitting in meetings with my former colleagues. Nobody recognized me, nobody introduced me, because temps don't have names. But like, one time I was actually on a conference call, and on the other end was my pompous windbag of a boss, Clark. And like, these dudes in the office kept pausing in the conference call to say, "What a pompous windbag!" And I'm like, yeah, that's Clark. Like, you talk about wanting to be a fly on a wall. Temps, we are flies on the wall. Like, basically the only thing that you can do to get fired as a temp is to show up for work late. Which is why on this particular morning that I'm here to talk to you about today, I was getting a little bit stressed out, because I'm standing on one of two lines up to the security desk at One Penn Plaza. And I can read this situation. I've been a temp long enough now. I can see what's going on. There's this guy at the front of the line. He's not on the list, but he won't go away. Right? And as I get within earshot, I can hear him. He's telling the guard, "We'll call again. Can you call again? Can you call them up again?" And the guard's like, "We called, we can't get through." And the guy says, "Well, the reason you can't get through is because the phone lines are jammed with people calling for me." I have been invited this morning to talk on the radio on WPLJ because New York is hurting. Okay, and I should back up right now. It was October 2001. New York was hurting. We had just experienced September 11th, 2001. And as I'm hearing this guy talk about PLJ being in this building, I realized that makes sense. PLJ was my radio station. The way that I had learned about the terror attacks on September 11th is that I had heard my favorite morning DJ scream. And I realized that where Penn Plaza faces, WPLJ must be on the south-facing side of the building because it's a straight shot down 8th Avenue. He must have just watched the plane crash on that morning. But as I'm getting closer and closer to the front of the line, I realize that I recognize this voice. And it's one of these where you know that you know the voice. You know that you like the person, but you just can't figure out why it is that you know this person, and then it hits me. This is John Edward from Crossing Over. Some of you may not remember, but in early 2011, there was a very popular TV show with psychic medium John Edward called Crossing Over. And I'm not embarrassed to stand up here and tell you that I am a huge fan of Crossing Over with John Edward. All right, I actually am embarrassed, but that's what we do. We get up here and we tell you our personal secrets. This is storytelling, people. And I remember now, I had heard the day before that John Edwards was going to be a guest this morning. You see, at at this temp gig, this was a temp to perm gig, I had worked out an arrangement where between the hours of 9 and 11, I could listen to the radio at a reasonable volume. Yeah? Somebody got that? My impersonation was terrible right there. So I started to realize, oh my God, this is the episode where John Edward is going to be talking to people who lost people on September 11th. I am not going to deprive New York City of this opportunity because of a communication barrier that I can see unfolding right in front of me. And I realized this is my moment. This is my moment to be someone's guardian angel. I get up to the front of the line, hand the guard my ID, and I look over in feigned surprise, and I go, John? John Edward? It's me! Anna! John, are you having trouble getting into this building right now? This is John Edward! And the security guard's like, do you know this man? Right, like security guard's around. And I said, this is my friend. This is my dear friend, John Edward. I can sign him in because I work in the building. I'll sign him in and I'll take him up to PLJ. And the guard says, do you work at PLJ? And I said, no. I work at Angwong Taub. Okay, so I had been working at this firm long enough to know that if I said the name of the firm like that, with that intonation, people tended to not ask follow-up questions. So I say, I work at Angwong Taub, and I'll sign him in and I'll take him up and I'll drop him off at PLJ. Bonus, visit to my favorite radio station. Okay. So the guard lets me in, he signs in, my good friend John Edward. Package ourselves off to the elevator and we get in the elevator doors shut and he goes, why did you do that? And I said, well, John, I wasn't lying. You and I are friends. You just don't know me. And I want to go listen to you talk right now. I'm going to sit at my desk and listen to this episode. I didn't want this episode not to happen, so, get in there. And he says, all right, well, thank you very much. How can I thank you? And I said, really, what would be the best would be if you just thank me on the air. I think that'd be really cool. So I get to my desk at Angwong Taub. And I turn my radio slightly louder than the agreed upon acceptable volume between the hours of 9 and 11. And I wait, and I watch the sea of cubicles. And little heads pop up as John Edward thanks me once. He thanks me twice. The third time, someone goes, is that our 10th that John Edward is thanking on the radio right now? I could feel my cloak of invisibility peeling away. And the cloak completely fell away the next morning when one of my colleagues, two of my colleagues, everyone comes in with the New York Post. And I can see my name as they plop the story down right in front of me. You see, someone from the New York Post was also listening to WPLJ that day. And I thought, how heartwarming. Our city is hurting. Somebody listened to this story and they found heartwarming, tales of heartwarming, just good citizenship, and they want to spread the word to this city. But no, that Post writer wasn't listening to the angel on his shoulder that day. He was listening to the devil that was on his other shoulder that day, because the story said, psychic does not foresee inability to get into radio station for the interview that was supposed to heal New